get poor sometimes in the standings, and I feel like this is the breaking point for Unicorns of Love. If they can actually, you know, take this match here, they might be able to have a really nice finish in this group if they can get their mentality, you know, fixed. But I think that coming into a series like this, you know you lost yesterday, you are the underdog, you're not going to feel too disheartened if you do end up falling behind. We see removals here on the Renekton. The Senna is out already.
Yeah, and also the Tristana is going to be taken away. We'll see if we get a Lucian ban here. I know everybody's calling for Xiaohu to not get that pick. And honestly, after what we saw, I don't think we should see him get it for the rest of this tournament. They've got one ban left. We saw Morgana come through here for RNG. That makes a bit of sense, but you'll notice here that the Lucian is left up. The Kai'Sa does get banned away from Gala, another one of these power picks here for RNG, but the Lucian left available. Will be interesting to see if they jump on that right away. I
mean, the Rumble is also left open. You don't necessarily have to pick the Lucian blind straight away. It could end up being more of a counter pick, and they will go for this Rumble once again. It's only been 3 champions we've seen Wei play so far this tournament, the Olaf, the Udyr, and the Rumble being the highest tier of the 3, and he will pick it up here early. Save that Lucian potentially for a counter pick later on.
Yeah, and it's a great point because you look at UOL and you say, well, these guys haven't played too much Lucian. Maybe we can take this Rumble right from the get-go. And you would say, oh, okay, if they were really trying to get this Lucian pick, or at least get one of Lucian and Rumble, they would pick it here in the first stage, but they don't. They take the Varus and the Nidalee, and it's going to be really interesting to see if that does work out for them here, because you get that 80 solo laner with the Lucian, a guy who can pilot it to this effect alongside of this super top tier AP jungler in the Rumble. Things are already looking pretty good, but let's see what they go for here. They are highlighting the Lee Sin,
yeah,
and they will lock it in.
Just going to go blind with this one. He's played it already once here in MSI, and I'm not shocked to see it come through once again. It feels like Unicorns of Love are going to put their focus once again on Ananasik here in the jungle, bring up the Nidalee here very early on in the draft. We'll see if we can lock in some CC here for the mid lane, because, you know, since there is no lock-in evolution early, it can be removed in the second ban phase. Looks like they're going to go towards the Leona instead here, lock the support down before we get to that second ban phase, leaving mid a little bit open right now. Unicorns of Love waiting to see what RNG is going to make for their first move.
Yeah, you mentioned the CC. The Leona does get locked in. We've seen this lane here before. Definitely get a nice amount of priority down in that bottom side with the Varus and the Leona. And now let's see what they do go for here in the bans. Obviously, that Lucian does still stand out just a bit.
Yeah.
But we'll see if they would even want to go for it, especially with the Lee Sin that did get picked up here, as the Ashe is going to be the ban away from Gala this time around. So really focusing the 80 carry here on the side of RNG.
Yeah, removing a lot of those champions for him. He's one of the stronger players on this roster, you know. He's also kind of stepping into the shoes of Uzi a little bit here for RNG, a team that has had so much international success, just missed their first Worlds in 5 years. Last year. They're back here on this international stage in MSI, and a lot of eyes are on Gala right now. You know, a lot of people are saying that he's one of the best 80 carries in LPL. Some people saying otherwise, that in fact, you know, he has really strong play, but he might not even be the best in the region. We do see the Lucian come out, though. The Lucian is removed here. There's a lot of flexibility still with this RNG draft, the Lee Sin and the Rumble that can be flexed.
Ooh, and this is going to be the Nocturne just immediately locked in, followed by a straight-up lock-in from Gala as well. He will be picking up the Kalista this time around, so... And followed up by the Orianna. Okay, so they add some more AP into their lineup, and some pretty nice wombo combo when you do look at that comp there from RNG.
Yeah, it's really scary when you think about all the CC as well, and how much mid-control can come if the bot lane does go into favor with the Kalista Nautilus. You know, you can roam, you can actually put a lot of pressure on that mid lane. It's not going to be an easy matchup there against Cryan for Noman's here for the side of Unicorns of Love. We're waiting for that final counter pick here, and it looks like we might see the Kassadin. It's an old favorite for Nomads. He is going to lock it in. This is something that was mentioned on the desk just before. This is not a meta where Nomads feels at his most comfortable, right? He has to play a lot of control mages. Victor is his most played champion in the playoffs for the LCL. Not the kind of champions that he likes to play more aggressive. I like the Kassadin a lot more here for his play style. Yeah. They've already changed things up quite a bit.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned the pick here for Noman's. He was 2-0 in the LCL in the full season, and his KDA was 22. So the guy knows how to pilot that pick. Yes, this is kind of the next tier of League of Legends play on the international stage. So I'm really curious to see if he can have kind of a banger performance here, coming out, trying to mix things up, bringing in his pocket Kassadin, and a pretty interesting comp as well on the side of UOL. Definitely not a straightforward one. Can be difficult to pilot, and we'll see if maybe they can get some solo carry performances this time around.
I'm really excited to see the Rumble once again. One of my favorite champions in League of Legends. Like to see him coming back into the meta, flexible in so many roles, like the Lee Sin right now. As we have coaches shake hands here, we are about to jump onto the Rift for what should be a great opportunity for Unicorns of Love to bounce back. You know, this is a group where, as mentioned before, you know, it's a quadruple round robin essentially. So we're going to have a lot of play between these two teams. This is the second time they will meet. So there's already some history brewing. It was just yesterday that RNG won a very one-sided game. And, you know, if you're a fan, if you're an LCL fan watching MSI, you're hoping they can turn things around here. But like as you mentioned, RNG, one of the big favorites to go to the finals, at least, if not take the whole thing. One of the big challenges people are looking at next to Damwon Kia in this international event.
Yeah, absolutely. I think a lot of people are expecting a bunch from RNG, and they might not expect too much challenge here in the first stage of the tournament. But we're looking for UOL to maybe try to turn the tables and mix things up, maybe provide some upsets and some interesting gameplay here in this first one. So we're kicking it off onto the Rift once again. And this is going to be RNG, currently 3-0 in their group up against Unicorns of Love. And man, this is going to be pretty interesting. I'm also curious, you know, we've had some stumbles with the Nidalee jungle coming in already in MSI. I'm curious to see how Anasik is going to go into the jungle up against that jungle Rumble, and Wei has been playing pretty well so far as well.
Yeah, he really has. You know, Wei is definitely one of the names that doesn't stand out as much, I think, for a lot of people, because it is his first major international event. You know, he doesn't have the same attention Gala has, because he's obviously stepping where Uzi once walked, right? Xiaohu, one of the longest standing players in China, who's swapped now to top lane, and a lot of the resources RNG have been giving have been to him. But Wei has quietly had a great, you know, first 3 games here in MSI.
Oh.
And here we
Wait,
go.
Hold the phone.
All right, you got a lane swap, the Orianna into the Nocturne.
Yeah, you're about to hang up that phone. Don't hang it up just yet. Xiaohu, you were just mentioning the lane swap that this player has pulled off in his career. How about in this game?
Yeah.
Lee Sin, you know, it's a matchup we haven't seen in a extremely long time, but this is a very fun one for the Lee Sin, especially early on into that Kassadin.
Yeah, it is going to be very, very tough. You know, on the top side of things, Boss did, you know, try to interrupt that swap there for Cryin. Didn't make it easy for him to go into lane. And meanwhile, on the bot side,
ooh, this is a very early flash. This is at level 1, okay? This is just a straight-up dredge line from Ming and a follow-up from Gala, and you already get the flash away from Lodic. I think that, yeah, Xiao was able to move forward and actually spot the Nidalee moving in as well. So that was a nice maneuver. Pings out the Nidalee. They know exactly where she is. And that's just an extra boost of information, as now Unicorns of Love will do a little bit of swapping.
Yeah, and when you're on the, you know, receiving end of the swap, where you actually are matching the swaps, you lose a lot of time in lane. You're going to lose a lot of experience. You may even lose a significant amount of farm. As you could see here, 6 CS up right now, currently Xiaohu, who's actually going to head bottom and look for a play. I mean, there's so much lane pressure here already. That's what Kalista's going to give you in the early game. Yeah,
and this is a pretty good idea. It's very early on, so it does come with its own risks. But remember that Lodic doesn't have his flash. He's level 2 right now, and let's see what he can do with just the heal. This is just typical LPL play, going for the super early dive. They're going to get the teleport out of Boss, and they're like, yeah, so what, buddy? We're still going for the dive. This is a 4v3 under the turret, and they pick up first blood 3.5 minutes into the game.
And meanwhile, on the top side of the map, look at where Cryin is. He's actually not overextended. He's able to get away. You know, you see the counter gank come through from Anasik, whose name I practiced several times saying before the broadcast today, but I still got it wrong. Sorry. I'll get it right eventually. But yeah, he's able to avoid this counter gank. He's totally fine on the top side of the map. And this was so well executed. The vision was hidden. You see the dive come through here, and Santos tries to turn things back, but RNG are just so ready to grab that kill and get out.
Yeah, it's, you know, it's one thing leads to another. They get the flash early on in the lane, just the straight up 2v2 at level 1. And then they're able to just pull that off in typical LPL fashion. And RNG isn't necessarily one of these teams from the LPL that does like the crazy dives and the super aggressive plays, but they saw an opportunity and they took it, and it was perfectly executed.
Yeah.
So they're going to get a pretty nice lead here. You see that UOL is trying to get some pressure up on the top side, but Wei is like, yep, how about I just kill you instead? You can take my Gromp, but I will take your life, and now Santos is all alone as well.
Yeah, he's caught here. He's at level 2 still, mind you, so he's going to lose even more experience through this, and this looks like potentially the beginning of another very one-sided game. I mean, you get all that extra pressure in the bot lane. You hit level 3 first. You have that 4-man gank bottom. You have to do something as Unicorns of Love to try to turn things around, right? You send your support to the top side of the map to try to make a play, to try to set up for that defense against when Wei comes in to try to stop you from taking his farm away, but the execution was just better here for RNG, and now it's a 3-0 score line, and it's a long way back for this level 2 Leona.
Yeah, you know, say what you will about this matchup, but I think this is also terrifying for any team watching this. Watching RNG in their natural habitat, Xiaohu roaming on the Lee Sin once again to the bottom lane, and Santos is probably going to eat that one once again. At least they're able to trade a kill back, but RNG are not letting their foot off the gas pedal. Still looking for some extra damage. Will be the 1-for-1, but they're getting so many plates at the same time. Look at the CS difference in the bottom lane. This one is just insanely one-sided.
No, I mean, you can play the more passive Orianna on the top side and have the Lee Sin come down bottom. This lane swap ends up being fantastic for them because they can be a lot more aggressive. They can look for these plays. And when you have a lane matchup that's going to be so favored to the Kalista early on, you have so many opportunities. The minions are always pushed, and they're not missing a chance here.
Yeah, so let's see the 1v1. You can see that a bunch of damage already done, flashing under the turret, but look at this perfect roam from Ming. He gets there right on time, and that is just, oh man, that's his trademark.
This is his trademark.
Perfect.
Yeah, he loves to roam top. This is what he does. This is one of the things he's made a big name for himself with, and he's looking for more here.
Oh my god, this is just disgusting at this point. Yeah, Xiaohu's looking for it as well. He's going to get the flash away from the Kassadin, as that will be a successful gank in its own right, even without the kill. As RNG, they're definitely looking comfortable with this kind of play style.
Certainly. I mean, this is really unfortunate, for UOL with how things have started here. The lane swap is a problem. The early game bot matchup is really slowed you down, and it feels like this is a train that just keeps rolling too. With RNG's comp, they're going to have a lot of control over these early Drakes with the advantages that they have right now. And for UOL, they're just going to have to kind of slow down. So the timing of this ultimate coming through, the paranoia, is actually perfect. He waits for the ult engage. He tries to come in and counter. And if Ming isn't here, they do get that kill back. But Ming is exactly where he needs to be. He's thinking one step ahead. And this is beautiful play from RNG across the map.
Yeah, Ming's having a great time this entire game. If he's ever on camera, he's always laughing, smiling. This is like one of those games where you just get to pop off and feel great about yourself. And he's really in his natural habitat, as we have mentioned. So feeling pretty good about that. As we're seeing the goal difference right now in the 80 carry role, certainly it's looking pretty good. Although this is Unicorns of Love looking for a play. The spear is going to land onto Cryan. And up on the top side, the Orianna with no flash was just a sitting duck. So a nice clap back there from UOL.
Yeah, Wei unfortunately not anywhere nearby to look for the counter. Meanwhile, Santa's still only level 4. Bit of a late roam here for Xiaohu.
Yeah, he's back again, though. But this time around, No Man's is here, but the kick gets the CC out of 2 of them, and the damage is just too much. As Xiaohu is just going to flash away from that one, and No Man's can't get through the 2 bottom laners of RNG. Let's add another point to Xiaohu's score right now. 2-0-3 already at 8 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, 2 of these kills going over to Ming as well in this game, who's 2-1-3. But doubling the CS right now is Gala, with how much time Lodic has spent in the fountain trying to get back to lane. Santos is 0-4-1, unfortunately, in this game. And it's a tough time, right? Look at how this has played out, too, when you do see Xiaohu end up arriving here on the Lee Sin, who can be, he's played almost like a pseudo-jungle in this case with the amount of attention he's given this bottom lane. Goes in, kicks Santos away. That's your peel gone. You go straight for Lodic. The Varus is down, make it a double, and unfortunately, Nomans is just a little bit too late to the party.
Yeah. I don't know whose performance is scarier here. Is it Xiaohu on the Lee Sin, playing mid lane basically, and roaming to the bottom side about 5 times? Or is it Ming, who's all over the map and making huge plays for his team as well? Gala's kind of left out here to dry, but it doesn't matter because he has the cleanse and he is Kalista. Doesn't even have to flash away.
It almost feels calculated here as Ming and Wei are going to rotate down to try to punish. They're not able to find the kills. They're not able to be successful. But it does feel like for RNG, they're really showcasing some of the flexibility of some of the champions we have right now in this meta.
No.
Uh-oh.
Here we go. Well, he's got the paranoia. Tries to do a bit of damage, but he's just going to get burnt to a crisp there by the Rumble. And now it's No Man's just running away. He's level 8 on the Kassadin. He didn't want any of this action. He wanted to sit back and scale, but that's not the way that RNG is going to let him play the game.
I mean, Wei has actually just spent so much of this game looking for ganks and pressure on the map. He's 5 out of 8 in terms of kill participation right now. Only a little bit ahead of Ananasik with the CS because, you know, he spent so much time around the map and so much time in these lanes. But as I was saying before, it feels like what RNG is showing us is that so many of these champions can be played anywhere. And Boss, once again.
It's so funny what the Lee Sin is able to do this Nocturne too. And there's no spell shield. See you later, Boss. That's going to be his 3rd death this time around. Nicely set up. There's 0 vision for UOL in the bottom side river. So over and over and over again, they just roam on up and get kill after kill.
And this is during a Rift Herald take, so they're going to get all that extra gold as well. And this is looking like a situation for Unicorns of Love where you're going to struggle to find a way back into this game, unfortunately. For the first time, it feels like in this game, minions will crash the turret here on the bottom side, but Gall is here to pick up the pieces. He's got a massive advantage still in that CS. And when you're looking at scaling later on into this game, it's really hard to find someone on Unicorns of Love's side here who's going to be able to safely bring things back. And I'm a little bit concerned here, Valdez, about how some of these upcoming Drake fights are going to happen in Unicorn Love's favor. At least RNG doesn't have that advantage just yet.
Yeah, I mean, I like that point. You look at this draft and you think maybe the Kassadin, you know, maybe we can get some Monk S's thinking about the timing when he's about to hit level 16, but I don't even know if that's going to matter too much because I think he just kind of hops in and dies against the amount of damage that RNG have, especially from this far behind. It's going to be pretty rough, to say the least, and we'll have to see what they do. As you mentioned, RNG hasn't, at least they haven't rushed down any Drakes or anything, so still the Infernal Drake remains on the Rift, and it looks like they might look for it now. But you can see they'd rather go for the kills, and so Santos does move into the river. Someone had to face check it, but trying to turn it around now, as Santos will be burnt to a crisp. Wei is coming in. At least they get the kill on Tagala, but that's not enough to do it, and No Man's just sitting in the brush. Oh, how about a solo kill here? Boss is going to go down to Xiaohu, who finds him in his own jungle.
Yeah, No Man's there in that shot. You know, production's trying to show maybe he'll teleport. It's actually still on cooldown just for a few more seconds, so he's unable to come down and help out and to really solidify their position here. And it's a really awkward time, you know, for this to actually happen while he doesn't have that teleport on cooldown, just has to walk back to lane. That's going to be the first Drake going to RNG. And the tempo advantage that they have is so great at this point that Ming doesn't have to sit in the lane anymore. He's not laning, really. He's just going around the map looking for opportunities. And this is the type of comp, you know, that can fall off hard if it doesn't get an early advantage. So you do want to maintain this. But if we've kind of gotten over the top of the hill, so to speak, for RNG in terms of what this comp needs to do to function, they're so ahead at this point that the damage output they have is so high that Unicorns of Love don't ever get to play that extended fight. It's just not going to happen.
Yeah, the engine is online, and all their carries have insane amounts of gold, and there's just not really any defenses that are able to be purchased here by Unicorns of Love, or any ability to deny that amount of damage that is going to be coming out here. They also get the Infernal Drake, as we are going to take a look here at the replay, just a straight-up one-on-one.
Yeah, it ends up just being a 1v1, unfortunately, Boss. There's no way out. He goes straight back to him on top of the blast plant, and they go over the wall together. Only one emerges alive. And this is unfortunately not that comeback game, that revenge game that if you're a Unicorns of Love fan, you were looking for. This is a team that has so many international performances under their belt. These players have been to several international events across multiple teams. You know, the Vegas Squadron days even coming to mind, you know, if you want to look all the way back. And this is a team that a lot of European fans, I think, look to as one of the kind of wild card teams that can actually upset in groups and can actually do very well at international events, even if expectations aren't high. But playing back-to-back games against their toughest opponent in this group is going to make them, by comparison, look weaker. But this is really just a showcasing of how good RNG are right now in this meta.
Yep, kind of on another level at this point in time. As you can see now, they're just trying to take away the enemy's jungle as much as possible. They're going to take away this blue buff for Cryan, who's been relatively quiet, but that's fine. He's doing his job. No Man's here nearly dies to just the Rumble, as they're easily going to be able to pick up the Nidalee here on that. And honestly, couldn't really go into his own jungle at that point in time. So just another free kill going over to the side of RNG.
And they're just not letting Loda get online here in this game. He's still significantly behind. He hasn't finished his mythic yet. He's I don't
know if he can sit under this turret, to be honest. Although, with the paranoia out here, he's not going to take it. Oh, and the rest of RNG is here as well. Boss is just left out to dry again.
It's just not much they can do for him.
It's not fair.
It's not fair. But, where can you get on the map here if you're Unicorns of Love? There's no Drake available at the moment. They got a little bit of mid farm. You can see where Lodic is going to farm now that his turret's destroyed, is all the way back towards the red side of the map, the red side base, because he's just not able to get out anywhere on the map. And that's what this comp can do at this stage of the game, is you're kind of choked out. You're terrified. You don't have vision control. You can't be anywhere. You can't get anything on the map. So there's no way to punish these big dives by saying, okay, we're going to get a kill. We're going to get a turret on the other side of the map, when you can't be anywhere safely at any point in time if you're Unicorns of Love.
All right, they're trying to make a play here. That's going to be respect shown by Cryan. Xiaohu is fighting, but he has to flash away himself as well. The Q does come in, but the flash from Noman's, and he shuts down Xiaohu, finally picking up another kill here, and Noman's trying to get the carry performance going here, looking for the play, and he picks up the double kill. A huge carry performance here from Noman's, trying to make something of this game.
Yeah, you could see the big grin on his face there as well. They're finally able to stop this train that is rolling forward non-stop here for RNG. It's a small victory here for Unicorns of Love, and they don't have a timing where they can grab a Drake out of this or get any sort of major objective, but it feels like it's one baby step back into this game. So we do watch this replay unfold here. A little bit greedy from Xiaohu in this case, even goes for the Q in. Well, unfortunately with Nomans here, there was just no way they were going to be able to turn that. Ends up turning it into a lot of extra value here on the top side of the map, even with that shockwave attempt.
It's great. It's great timing as well. The Kassadin just hitting level 11. He's able to level up that ult for the second time, and the little bit of an overstay there from RNG, as you mentioned. It's just the perfect amount of shutdown in many different ways. So they get a lot of gold onto certainly their carry player here on the side of Unicorns of Love. And we'll see if he can maybe pull off a super play in this one, because right now he doesn't really have too much support. But we'll have to wait and see how this game does turn out.
Yeah. It's a comp, too, for Unicorns of Love where, if it was any other style of play that we're seeing from RNG or any other champions, you're the ones who are going to be roaming around the map being aggressive like that and making those types of plays with the Nidalee, right, with the Nocturne.
Oh.
Speaking of aggressive.
Yeah, Xiaohu, he's not going for the kills on the turrets. He's just chipping away at you. Even if you feel comfortable under your turret, you're not going to after he dives you and takes half of your health away. And the rest of RNG just pushes mid.
Yeah, I mean, you see a play like that, and if you don't respond, maybe you end up losing your Nocturne. If you do respond, then you're going to lose more than just this mid turret here. Wei's going to get the Drake here solo alone. And this is what I'm talking about. You can't get out on the map as Unicorns of Love. They found those 2 picks on the top side, but that is it. That's all they get. So that's not going to be a shockwave that connects here, luckily for Boss.
Has to flash away from that one. And yeah, I mean, you can see what RNG are doing. They're not giving any time for the Kassadin to get online. As the Paranoid comes in, Santos goes in looking for some kind of damage, and they do take out Cryan, but it's only Cryan alone. As Noman's does teleport over to the bottom side. He's looking for an angle, but with the Rift Herald still up, it is going to be taken out. But RNG thinking about continuing to push. They will back away and respect Unicorns for now.
And they force Noman's back. They get his teleport here. I mean, this is a move where, Noman's is on the other side of the map, but if he doesn't come, while you have this Rift Herald pressure and you're all grouped up, you might be able to put some damage on the inhibitor turret or maybe even find more if they don't respond. So, you know, you don't always have to play defensive against a Cassian that's out on the map like that. You can sometimes force him to come to you. I do appreciate that Nomans is out there trying to get that farm, trying to get that money. He's got 180 CS now. He's got his Everfrost online. His tier's nearly fully stacked. He is going to be a bigger threat later on in this game. The question is, will he ever be able to take a team fight on his terms? They're clearing away some of this vision right now, and it feels like for the first time in a long time, Unicorns of Love have a moment to breathe.
Yeah, they're thinking about it. No Man's here, he's level 11, but, you know, the cooldown on the ultimate is enough at this point. He is going to get kicked, and down he will go. As maybe if he was level 16, he could be in that spot, but not at 12. So they're just able to easily pick off the mid laner. And maybe with that, the hopes of Unicorns of Love. They're looking for more here. Santos is going to go down as well. And I would say they could run at the Baron now, but it's not even spawned, Wolf.
No, not yet. It feels like we're later on in this game than we really are. At a 16, or rather a 12 kills deficit here for Unicorns of Love. We're sub 20 minutes here, 10 seconds to go on that Baron. But sometimes you feel like you're caught between a rock and a hard place if you're Nomans, right? You have to be the carry. You have to be the one who's getting that extra farm. You have to play greedy, because if you play safe, you're going to get choked out. You're going to lose this game anyways. You play greedy, you get punished for it. You might look bad to the fans. You might look bad in that moment. But what choice did you really have on the Cassian there? I mean, like you said, he's not level 16 yet, but you've got to take risks. Now there's just no contest, unfortunately, whatsoever for this Baron.
They're going to get the ward in. Do they have any time to actually get in there? No, the smite will be good from the side away. So they do pick up that Baron at 20 minutes into the game. And you could see that Unicorns of Love kind of knew it was coming, but there wasn't much that they could do, even with Boss having his teleport.
Yeah, a little bit of extra resources, you know, relinquished to Boss, or you can actually, because they're all on Baron, you can actually push a little bit further, get a little bit more value. But here is going to be our Red Bull Baron power play here, the first one of the evening. And RNG in a position to use the map control they've had all game long, actually to do some permanent damage now towards the base of Unicorns of Love. They've got pretty good wave clear here. And they just have the ability to push through so fast, right, with this composition and the lead that they have. And Unicorns of Love, they don't have a composition that can make big plays anymore, right? The Nocturne, who's he going to ult in this situation? Who are you going to flank? Who are you going to pick off of the back? It feels like you're just waiting for the inevitable at this stage.
Yeah, I mean, you can kind of see where their thoughts lied in the draft, right? You have some really nice split pushing, some good poke in your composition. But when the game gets blown open before 15, maybe even before 10 minutes, there's not much you can do, right? And now with the Baron buff, this kind of wombo combo teamfight comp here from RNG is just looking to push down the mid lane. Will they look to take more than just the inhibitor, Wolf, here? They do have tons of power under their belt.
I mean, anybody gets picked on Unicorns of Love and it is all over. Say goodbye to your second chance of taking out RNG in this group. Got to be really careful about how you handle this. I like that play from Nomans, just trying to threaten Xiaohu there, but you cannot overextend. You get picked, like I said, and it's all over.
All right, well, they're looking to push in now with the Baron buff onto this bottom lane. And you can see nobody on the side of Unicorns of Love wants to get anywhere near anyone on the side of RNG. The ball is always just zoning everybody away, and that's going to be 2 inhibitors down. And how about a buff as well, just as a bonus? Way, just a little bit of a cheeky ultimate thrown out there, and it's got such a low cooldown. I mean, why not throw it out?
Yeah, why not? And now the timing works out so perfect to retreat, because you can just go up and set up for what is going to be Soul Point here.
Uh-oh. Fate's Call already used, and at least this time around, Unicorns of Love were able to disengage there, but that was looking a little bit scary, as this Cloud Drake probably not the one you want to contest.
It's just going to burn down.
16 and then go for the Soul Point one.
Yeah, it burns down so quickly. You stay around the objective, but you can't get it. And, you know, arguably, Unicorns of Love could have tried to look for something else on the map, but look at the minion waves. Look at the lack of vision they have on the map. It's just so scary to make something like that happen. You just have to sit back and wait, unfortunately, and hope for big mistakes out of RNG. But I liked how they focused down Ming, of all people, when that push happened, because Ming is the one who actually gets the hook. You get that setup there, the dredge line connects, and you kill someone, you end the game. So the focus fire was good there from Unicorns of Love. They handled the situation pretty well. I mean, this is a situation where you never want to be 12 kills down in a game like this. You never want to be 11,000 gold down on the international stage, second game in a row against a team like this. You know, it's not a best-of series, but it feels like one across days. But still, Unicorns of Love stay composed. And they're hoping and praying that there's a chance that somebody makes a mistake here, someone overextends.
Yeah, it's going to have to be something, you know, it's got to be some kind of miracle at this point, but we'll have to wait and see if they can pull it off. Going for the third inhibitor now, as where did he even go? Santos just gets destroyed in a couple of abilities used. Xiaohu is looking for the really cute play there, but not going to get the kick, doesn't matter. Gets everything else out of Lodic, gets his flash there, and now they're just going to look to push mid and maybe land a dredge line onto No Man's as they're looking for these Nexus turrets. Boss trying desperately to clear the wave here as the ultimate now will come out. The equalizer from the Rumble. RNG looking to end this game early. That is a massive shockwave as in comes No Man's. They're trying to turn it around here, crying a little bit of a sitting duck. Boss is able to pick that one up, but you see No Man's, he's trying to make it happen, but it doesn't look like he will be able to. And that is going to be the ace coming out from RNG as they will take down the Nexus here in game number 1 of the night in just about 25 minutes.
RNG with a dominant start to this group. This is a group you expect them to dominate. You expect them to win it without dropping a single game, given their competition here and their history. But at the same time, they've made a statement in these 4 games. Each and every game they've played has been dominant and one-sided, and back-to-back wins against Unicorns of Love here are arguably their toughest opponent in the group, and they make it look easy. You've seen the power of Xiaohu on this Lee Sin. He can play it in the mid lane, he can play it in the top lane. Lane swaps. This team has not shown us too much in terms of in-depth strategy, but they have shown us their strengths and potential as a